Right now, you can survive winter by pressing a button. You adjust the temperature in your room, wrap yourself in synthetic blankets, order hot food without stepping outside, and complain when the weather drops a few degrees below comfortable. Your body expects warmth instantly. Your brain assumes shelter is guaranteed. But for more than 99% of human history, cold was not an inconvenience. It was an intelligent predator. Every sunset during the Ice Age carried the possibility that you and everyone beside you would simply never wake up again. And the terrifying part is not that ancient humans survived the cold without modern technology. It's what they had to become in order to do it. Archaeologists now believe some Ice Age groups survived temperatures below -20 degrees Celsius while wearing stitched animal hides, sleeping beside unstable fires, and migrating through landscapes where one mistake meant death in hours. But the most disturbing discovery is that the human body itself may still carry traces of those ancient winters. Because even today, your instincts, your sleep patterns, your cravings, and even your fear of darkness may still be shaped by people who survived by doing things almost impossible for modern humans to imagine. In this video, you're going to discover 3 things scientists only recently began to understand about ancient winter survival. First, the horrifying method Ice Age humans used to stay alive during freezing nights when fire alone wasn't enough. Second, the strange discovery archaeologists found inside prehistoric shelters that completely changed what researchers believed about human adaptation to cold. And third, what all of this still means for your own body right now. Because according to evolutionary biologists, modern humans may still be reacting to winter the same way our ancestors did tens of thousands of years ago. And once you realize how much of your daily behavior was shaped by survival during ancient winters, ordinary cold weather never feels ordinary again. In 2024, researchers analyzing evidence from Paleolithic sites across Eurasia focused on one question that had disturbed archaeologists for decades. How did humans survive prolonged Ice Age winters before advanced insulated housing existed? One of the most important studies referenced findings connected to work by anthropologist Stephen Kuhn from the University of Arizona, whose research into Upper Paleolithic clothing technologies revealed something extraordinary. Humans were not simply wrapping themselves in random animal skins. Evidence from bone needles discovered at sites dated over 40,000 years ago suggests they were manufacturing layered-fitted garments with remarkable sophistication. Microscopic wear patterns on these needles showed repeated piercing of soft hides likely used for close-body insulation. But the truly terrifying detail was this: in many Ice Age regions, improperly sealed clothing could kill within hours. Experimental archaeology studies demonstrated that exposed moisture freezing inside primitive garments caused rapid heat loss severe enough to trigger hypothermia even beside active fires. Survival depended not only on hunting animals, but on transforming those animals into wearable shelter with terrifying precision. And then scientists discovered something nobody expected. Some Ice Age humans may have survived freezing nights by sleeping in direct physical contact with each other beneath layered animal skins in tightly enclosed shelters designed to trap shared body heat. Archaeologists studying mammoth bone dwellings in Eastern Europe found structures specifically engineered to minimize airflow while maximizing thermal retention. One reconstruction study published through Archaeological Climate Modeling showed that even a small increase in retained collective body heat dramatically improves survival odds during sub-zero nights. In other words, ancient humans survived because they learned to function almost like a single living organism. Warmth was shared. Breathing space was shared. Sleep was shared. Privacy, as modern humans understand it, barely existed during winter survival. And one of the strangest discoveries came from isotope studies suggesting these groups consumed enormous quantities of animal fat during cold periods because protein alone could not sustain enough body heat. Some prehistoric humans were likely eating diets where fat supplied over 50% of total calories during winter migration seasons. But here's what nobody talks about. Cold survival wasn't only about enduring the environment. It was about changing human behavior itself. Researchers studying ancient hunter-gatherer groups noticed something deeply unsettling. Winter forced humans into extreme social dependence. Isolation became deadly. Cooperation became biological. And scientists now believe traces of that ancient dependence may still exist inside modern brains. You were not designed to experience cold the way you do it right now. Evolutionary psychologists studying seasonal behavior patterns have found that modern humans still experience measurable mood, appetite, and sleep changes during colder and darker months. Some of these reactions appear linked to ancient survival mechanisms. Research connected to studies on circadian biology suggests reduced daylight exposure historically pushed humans toward energy conservation behaviors during winter. But the strongest evidence came from observations of contemporary hunter-gatherer populations, including the Hadza of Tanzania. Anthropologists documenting Hadza sleep behavior found that communal sleeping arrangements and staggered nighttime wakefulness naturally created protective group security during vulnerable hours. Someone was almost always awake beside the fire. Someone was always listening. Your ancestors rarely experienced true solitude at night. And this may explain why complete silence or sleeping alone still makes many modern humans uncomfortable without understanding why. Neuroscientists studying social thermoregulation now argue that human emotional bonding itself may have partially evolved through collective survival against cold environments. In other words, your brain may still associate warmth with human presence because for thousands of generations, those two things literally meant survival. But then humanity invented something that quietly destroyed this ancient pattern. Around the Roman period, increasingly sophisticated heated architecture began separating survival from community dependence. Wealthier households gained access to heated flooring systems known as hypocausts, reducing the need for tightly clustered communal sleeping. Centuries later, during the Industrial Revolution, enclosed heating systems transformed winter from a collective threat into a private inconvenience. And hidden inside modern language is a strange reminder of that older world. The word companion comes from the Latin companionum, literally meaning one who shares bread. Survival itself was once defined through shared warmth, shared food, shared shelter. But modern winter life became increasingly individual. Separate rooms, separate beds, separate climate-controlled spaces. The ancient survival brain remained, while the environment surrounding it completely changed. And some researchers believe this sudden shift may partially explain rising feelings of isolation during modern winter months despite unprecedented physical comfort. The terrifying truth is that ancient humans did not conquer the cold. They surrendered parts of themselves to survive it. They gave up privacy. They accepted constant dependence. They reorganized entire social structures around fire, movement, shared heat, and collective fear of darkness. Ice Age winters shaped human psychology long before cities, governments, or written language ever existed. And maybe that's why cold weather still changes people in ways technology cannot fully erase. Even now, during storms, blackouts, or freezing nights, humans instinctively gather together. We seek light. We seek noise. We seek presence. Not because modern life taught us to, but because somewhere deep beneath civilization, your nervous system still remembers what winter once was. And maybe the strangest part is this. The warmer human life became, the more alone humans learn to live. What ancient instinct inside you still wakes up when the world turns cold?